This is Kerrigan & Company. Did you know that more than 90% of cyber attacks can be prevented? Focus Technology helps organizations create a cybersecurity framework to minimize your risk of being attacked. Let Focus Technology's certified team conduct an assessment to determine where the gaps are in your organization, no matter how big or small your company is. Utilizing the industry's best tools, Focus Technology's security operations team will monitor and stop bad actors before it's too late. Contact Focus Technology today at focustsi.com and secure your company's most valuable assets. That's focustsi.com. A&B Burger in Beverly and A&B Kitchen and Bar in Boston are redefining guest expectations of a casual restaurant. Both A&B restaurant locations are focused on hospitality, creative menus, and delicious food and drinks. Now, I've been to both restaurants many times and loved everything I've tried. Get to A&B Burger on Cabot Street in Beverly or head across the street from our studio at the TD Garden to A&B Kitchen and Bar in Boston today and experience the A&B difference yourself. I promise you're going to love it. Kim Kerrigan here. We have a special edition of Kerrigan & Company. We have a legend in the studio. 3 Grammy Awards, star on the Walk of Fame, author, and mother of 5. Oh, and have I mentioned a Hopedale, Massachusetts resident? You won't want to miss this one. I'm so excited. This is Kerrigan & Company.
Kerrigan & Company is here for you. Yes, Kerrigan & Company is here for you.
Welcome, everybody, to Kerrigan & Company. So great to have you for this episode, brought to us, of course, by A&B Burger. Hey, don't forget, they have a new location. It's over by the Fenway. You got to check it out. It is fantastic. I was there last week, so it's a good one. Be sure you check that out. And talk about a good one. This is going to be a great podcast. I am so excited. You know, the Pointer Sisters were like the soundtrack of my young teen years. And I really realized that when I went back to research a little bit about the group and about my guest today, who's keeping me company, Ruth Pointer of the Pointer Sisters. Hello, my love. I mean, I'm not kidding you. I sat down to my computer and I just started listening. And Ruth, I had forgotten
the memories.
It's honestly the memories. I had forgotten the fabulous clothing. I mean, you guys, you know, were sort of before videos were part of music, and yet there you were in all these videos and the fabulous clothing and just some of the greatest songs that ever were.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's so good to have you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
You bet.
I was excited to come because I haven't, like I said earlier, I've never done a podcast before, you know.
Well, on a podcast, you can just say anything you want, so just feel free. We're free to say whatever we'd like to say.
Oh, my God. That could be a little dangerous, but hey.
I want to tell you something. You look fabulous. That's something I want to say.
Thank you.
You know, you walked up outside our studio here, and I said to my executive producer, Dave Thompson, there she is. Wow. And, I mean, you weren't even trying to make an entrance. You just make an entrance when you come in. So it's terrific to have you. We were just talking about it a couple minutes ago, and I think a lot of people know this, but maybe they don't. But you're a Massachusetts resident. You live in Hopedale.
Hopedale.
Yeah, and isn't it fun to live in a place called Hopedale, number one?
It is, because people that are like, you know, native New Englanders go, where's that? Yeah. And I'm like, okay, it's very small. It's sort of set between Milford and Franklin. Yeah. And if you blink, you'll miss it.
How'd you end up there?
My husband is from Milford. We met in Malibu when I was living there at the time. And when we decided to get married and thought we were going to try to have children, we said, well, let's move back to New England. He asked me, how would you like to move back to New England and raise our children? And I said, when do we go? Really? I was ready to get out of California for a while.
Well, one of the things, and we can talk more about that in a second, but one of the things that you said to me before we got on the air was that, you know, Hopedale's a great place for you now because you go out on the road and then you come home.
Yeah.
That's got to be terrific. It's serene. I know you have a beautiful home there. And I would imagine that the people who live in Hopedale at this stage of the game, you're just one of them.
I'm just one of them.
Yeah.
I'm just one of them, and it's just peaceful, and people are kind, and my youngest son, Connor, who fell in love with the fire department there, and now he's a firefighter for Upton, which is right next door to Hopedale. And my daughter is living on our property. She just got married last year in Newport, and her new husband, Trevor, are living on our property, and it's just like a nice little quiet little area that we can, just chill out, and very opposite from what I do and what I've been doing for 50 years.
You're painting this serene, fabulous picture for me, and I think about what I was watching yesterday, and sort of the glamorous, fast, hard living that you lived.
Fast and hard, girl. Fast
there you
and
go,
hard,
my friend.
Lord
Yeah,
Jesus, fast and hard.
That must feel like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, it does. And it was fast and hard. And I've had some very hard years that I've written about in my book with addiction and alcoholism and all that kind of stuff. And when I made drastic changes in my life, I just wanted peace. I listened to classical music. I learned that little trick from Tina Turner. And I really have a lot of admiration for my peers like Tina and Diana Ross and those women that paved the way for me,
Women who figured out how to live with that kind of fame.
Yeah, it's just like I really admire them, and I've watched their careers, and I've gone to see them live and stolen little things from them. And I love them, and they've had a big impact on the way I try to do my own life,
Yeah. When you look back on fame, is it worth it?
Yeah, it's worth it. Because you know why it's worth it for me personally? I can only speak for myself. I didn't have this plan in my life. This is a total, absolute gift for me. And I think about it often because I watch today's youth that are coming into the business and those that are already in the business, and how they studied and how they groomed themselves from little girls. And they've got all this footage of when they were 9 and 10 and they were dancing and singing and the other little groups that they were in, and how their parents supported them. That wasn't my story at all. We grew up in the church. I knew I could sing a little, it wasn't a big deal to me. I thought, okay,
everybody sings.
Yeah, we sang in the choir, and okay, that's fine. But never in a million years did I think that I would be a professional singer, earning a living, and having this life that I've had.
Yeah.
Never even considered it. And it's just something that I've embraced and just tried to do the best I could with it.
Well, and the interesting thing, I've heard you say this before, is that you said that, your sisters, and there were 3, so there were 4 of you when the group started.
I brought Anita with me.
And, that's fantastic. That's beautiful.
There she is.
When you guys started, again, all 4 of you grew up in the church.
Yeah.
Nobody thought you were going to be pop stars or R&B stars.
No.
And none of you had been trained. And I've heard you say you just had this incredible ability to take a melody and harmonize with it.
Yeah, and that was something that we learned by singing in the choir in my dad's church.
Couldn't read music, you said.
Couldn't read music, but in our singing in the choir and learning which section, each section had to sit on its own row. The sopranos were in front, the altos were behind, the tenors were behind them, and the bass was behind them. And that was something that we were taught in singing in the choir in my dad's church. So that was something we learned really young.
Yeah.
You know? And I guess it just stayed with us because if you weren't staying in your part, you were called out on it. Hey, wait a minute. You're not singing the right part. You don't belong in the alto part. You belong in...
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And you were always where? In the altos,
in the
right?
Alto.
Yeah.
And the alto.
I know you've said that over and over, that you had that beautiful deep voice that you could add to the group. Where did you guys start this then? What put you out on the road for commercial business?
Actually, my sisters, Anita Bonnie and June. Actually, Bonnie and June started first. Anita and I had married, and I already had 2 kids. Anita had 1 daughter. And so we were going in that path.
Sure.
You know, Bonnie and June were our 2 youngest sisters, and they were like footloose and fancy free. And I think by the time they became, I should say, teenagers, late teenagers entering into young adulthood, my parents were getting exhausted.
Right. Because were there 6 of you in total? Is
Yeah,
that
I have 2 older brothers.
You had 2 brothers, right.
And my parents were getting exhausted of trying to discipline and sort of hone us in and all that. And they were just like, okay, whatever. Okay,
You girls go wherever you're going.
Go where you want to go. Play the music you want to play in the house. I don't care. Just leave me alone.
Yeah.
And so Bonnie and June were actually the ones that started because it was the late 60s, and I was not at home. Anita was not at home.
Yeah.
And they were still the young ones that were still there. And that was when the sort of revolution, I should say, of young people began with hippies and, women burning their bras and all the
Protesting
protests
war.
War. Yeah. Oh, there was a lot going on. And they just kind of like got caught up in all of that, and Fillmore West was raging in San Francisco. We were living in Oakland, and they were going over there to concerts, and, they knew they could sing, so they would just sing around with people for free.
Wow. And just got more and more attention as time went on.
And someone told them, you guys could get paid for that. And they were like, okay, really? Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, they were just like singing with people like Taj Mahal and Dave Mason and Grace Slick. I mean, they were just like Tower Power, just going in the studio singing with people, and Sylvester, and okay, you can get paid. Really?
A story that you could never replicate at this stage of the game, right? No one could ever do that. I got to tell you, Ruth, when I look back and was reading through some of the stories, one of the most surprising things I learned about you guys is that your first Grammy came as a country group.
Right.
I had no idea. Fairy Tale was the name of the song.
Yeah.
Now, how in the world did that happen?
I had no idea either. I mean, we recorded the song. Our band didn't even want to play the song when we recorded it. Oh, we ain't playing no country song. We're like, oh, God. We wrote this. Well, Anita and Bonnie wrote the song.
Okay.
And we recorded it, and we went on the road. We were on the road, and we found out we had a Grammy through a phone call.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I think my mother or somebody called and said, oh, you guys won a Grammy. We're like, really? For what? For that country song you did. You got to be kidding me. We got a Grammy for a country song? Really? Okay.
Right. I mean, I think you're one of how many African-American women who have won a country Grammy?
Yeah.
Not many.
Not many. No.
More now, certainly, but at the time, you had to have been, in rarefied air there.
Yeah, and the funniest thing of it all is the people in Nashville didn't even know that we were black ladies.
Really?
No. And that was fun. Oh, my God. Because they invited us to the Grand Ole Opry. There was a special party being planned for the guests who were us. We showed up at the house, and someone ran out to the car and, come on. God ran us around the back door. We were thinking, okay, they want us to surprise people. Okay, take us, and they put us, get in the kitchen. We get in the kitchen. All of us, we're in that kitchen for a very long time. And our manager came back there all of a sudden and said, what are you guys doing in here? We said, well, they brought us in, and we thought maybe they wanted us to surprise the people at the party. He said, oh, my God, they think you're the help.
Ruth.
Oh, yes. I kid you not.
This is a shocking story.
He was so angry because the party had been going on out there without us. He said, come on, girls. You're supposed to be in here with the party, and you are the party.
Yes.
And they had no idea. So, of course, a lot of apologies were going around, and, I thought it was hilarious. I said, oh, my God.
Can I tell you something? It's that positive. I mean, your positivity came through the front door here when you walked in. It's that kind of positive attitude that has made you so incredibly successful.
Well.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
How old are you?
78.
Oh. If only. If only. Well, I know that you said, that your twins are in their early 30s.
Yeah.
You had those babies at 47 years old.
Yes, honey.
That's why you look the way you do. They've kept you so youthful.
They have kept me moving.
Yeah, they have. It's fantastic.
Yeah, they do. They keep me moving, And, I have a daughter that's 60. My oldest daughter is 60, and my oldest son is 59, and I have a daughter who's 46, who sings with me.
So that's my next thing I wanted to talk to you about. So now you're headed. You've been on the road. I mean, you've sang for long after the Pointer Sisters.
Yeah, quite a bit.
First, let me ask you this: did you ever believe? Because a lot of times, I think when you're introduced somewhere, you're introduced as the last surviving Pointer Sister. Did you ever think that would be the case? That's got to be hard to hear.
No. Like I've written in my book about my journey with addiction and things, domestic abuse and all the things that I've gone through. Even my family always thought I would be the first to go. I mean, I was considered the black sheep of the family almost when it came to lifestyle and the way I was living, fast and hard, like you said at the beginning, fast and hard. But it's, again, one of those blessings that I was able to receive from whatever higher power in my life, my faith, that has sort of sustained me. I find it really hard to explain myself sometimes. I really do. I don't know what to even say about that because when I think about it too hard, I get emotional, because sometimes I really can't believe that they're not here. It's weird to me.
Do you go back and watch the videos and listen to the music?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I watch them. A lot of times, especially my friend Paul over here, he puts things up on, our website, and I watch the videos and brings back a lot of memories of things that we've done, all those television shows, Carol Burnett, Flip Wilson, The Midnights, everything that was on TV, pretty much, we did most of it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know that must just flood memories back for you.
It does.
Yeah.
It really does.
I bet so.
Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, sitting back and watching the videos and listening to the music certainly brought a flood of memories back for me. Not the same ones you have, but they have been fantastic.
I hope
not. They're a little different than yours.
Well, some of them, yeah,
right. Okay, so I warned you about this, so I wanted to get to this. We do this little feature. It's called our Focus Technology Fast Five. Focus Technology is your trusted IT partners for cybersecurity, cloud, and managed services. So I've got 5 questions I want to ask you, sort of rapid fire.
Okay.
And our engineer is going to give us 30 seconds. Wow. And we're going to see how you answer some of these questions.
Okay.
Are you ready, Ruth?
I think so.
All right, here we go. What would you be doing if you were not a singer?
I wanted to be in the fashion industry in some capacity. That was what I was getting ready to sign up for. I mean, I had already filled out some applications to go to fashion design school, and my sisters came in and said, "Want to sing with us?" And I was like, "Okay."
Give it a shot. Who's the person you'd most like to sing a duet with?
Oh, wow, a duet with. Whew, that's a tough one because there's a lot of people out there that I love. I don't know. I don't know.
I can't believe I could have stumped her.
You got me, girl. I don't know.
We're gonna swing back to that one.
Okay.
R&B or gospel?
Gospel.
I know you're a big
Number
gospel
one.
fan.
Gospel.
Yeah. Best thing about living in Hopedale?
Quiet.
Who is your star next to on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? Do
I
you
don't know. I don't know.
We're going to have to take a trip out there and find out exactly who it is, right?
Yeah. I
What do
have
you
no
think?
idea who my neighbors are out there on Hollywood Boulevard.
What a day was that? When-
Oh, my God. Yeah, I have great photos because my mom was still with us. My brothers were there. All 4 sisters were there. And that was a very special, special time.
I'll bet it was.
Very special, yeah.
Yeah. I have never met in person someone who actually has a star. So I feel very honored
Thank you.
to meet you.
Thank you.
All right. Listen, we're going to talk a little bit. You've got a tour coming up.
Yes.
You tour with your daughter and your granddaughter.
Yes.
Boy, that must be special. I mean, first you sing with your sisters, and now you get this chance to sing with your daughter and your
It
granddaughters.
is special.
Oh, I can't even imagine. So let's talk more about that tour coming up after we hear from our sponsors. This is Kerrigan and Company. It's baseball season, so are you headed to Fenway anytime soon? If so, you've got to stop by the newest A&B Burger location at Time Out Market, Boston. You can get your favorite burgers at A&B's new quick serve restaurant, which is located at 401 Park Drive. Time Out Market Boston is located in the buzzing Fenway neighborhood, and A&B is the latest and the best restaurant to join this creatively curated dining destination. A trip to Fenway, whether you're headed to a game or maybe you just like the vibe in the area, isn't complete without stopping by A&B Burger at Time Out Market Boston. Head to A&B Burger at Time Out Market Boston's Fenway neighborhood today. You'll be glad you did. Do you know what generative AI is and how your company can ensure employees are more productive? Focus Technology can help you master the use of Microsoft's newest tool, Copilot. This powerful tool can help your team speed up many of their daily tasks by enabling hands-on learning directly with the software. It can summarize long emails, generate drafts of long documents, and search for answers to key questions. Copilot represents a unique opportunity for businesses to accelerate their understanding of what generative AI can deliver for their company. Contact Focus Technology today to learn more at focustsi.com and bring your organization into the AI revolution. That's focustsi.com. Attention all you fashionistas, I've got a secret that I'm about to share. It's a fabulous clothing boutique located in Marblehead, Massachusetts, called All Chic at 152. Now, I'm a regular there, and quite frankly, I'm constantly asked, where do I get my clothes? If you're ready to elevate your style game, this is the place for you. The staff selects on-trend, unique styles from Europe, Canada, and right here in the United States. The beautiful store is filled with hand-picked clothing, as well as shoes and accessories. Anyone who tells you have to break the bank to look great obviously hasn't shopped at All Chic at 152. That's All Chic at 152, located at 152 Washington Street in Marblehead, Massachusetts.
If you like rum, you're going to love Rumson's Rum, New England's most award-winning rum brand. Rumson creates distinctive and savory flavor profiles by hand-selecting and marrying the finest barrel-aged Caribbean rums. The spirits are then blended and finished in the New England Rum House. Choose from Rumson's Gold, Spiced, Grand Reserve, or Coffee Rum, which is smooth and sweet with a warm roasted coffee flavor, a hint of vanilla, and a decadent buttery finish. Find Rumson's at liquor stores or ask for it at your favorite restaurant. Learn more at rumsons.com. That's rumsons.com. Rumsons. Life lived, life enjoyed.
This segment of Kerrigan and Company is brought to you by Lucia Lighting and Design, where people in the know go for the best possible lighting and design experience. Welcome back, everybody, to Kerrigan and Company. I am having a great time today. I'm so excited.
Kids can't hide it.
I'm sorry.
That's
Ruth
okay.
Pointer is with us. I've said that so many times, and my daughter, my 22-year-old's like, Mom, don't say that when you see her. But I couldn't help it. I just had to.
Hey, it's why we did it. It's exactly why we did it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this tour that you
Okay.
guys have coming up. Now, you've been out touring with your daughter and your granddaughter.
Right.
Tell me about that experience.
My daughter Issa and my granddaughter Sadako, and they came in kind of like one at a time. First, there was Issa, and then she had a baby, so she had to bail out for a while and pulled in Sadako. And then when Anita decided she didn't want to do it anymore, we pulled Issa back in. It's been a journey, because for me, it kind of puts the pressure on me.
Absolutely.
I love my daughter, I love my granddaughter, but they ain't my sisters.
Yeah.
And I had to do a lot of accepting that they weren't, and teaching them things that some of the things they were finding difficult to learn. Like, oh, never mind, forget it. But it's just, I had to just take in a form of acceptance that it was going to be me, mostly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And just let them, I said, look, you guys are young, and you bring in a youthful element to the show. And so you guys are just going to be up there and sing and have fun and do your little youthful dancing, and I'll just do what I do.
Right.
And
right.
so it's
the appreciation you must have now for your sisters and that unbelievable talent.
Girl.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
It's amazing because, like I said earlier, it really wasn't something that we thought about, consciously, that we were whatever people were saying that we were, that we had this special gift and all this stuff. And we was like, we just sang, and this is what we grew up doing. And we did it so effortlessly.
Right. Right.
Oh, my God. We didn't even have to think about it.
Ruth, do you think when you look back, did you have a level of appreciation for what was happening when it was all happening? That effortless, stage presence and the fame that came with it?
I don't think I did at that time.
Yeah.
I'm sure that I have more of an appreciation for it now. Mm-hmm. Because back then, we just did it. Mm-hmm. And we just did what we did. And it never occurred to us that, people that were coming along, after us couldn't do the same thing. Like, what?
And have looked up to you and have tried to emulate that same amount of talent. And not everyone can do that. Yeah. As a woman, a mature woman now who has had so many incredible experiences, tell me what's the secret of life?
Keep moving. I think it's just keep moving. I tell friends I'm just going to keep on rolling until the wheels fall off. It's like I have had thoughts, preferably when Anita got very sick. And I think I was just in such grief at the time that I thought about hanging it up. I really did. And I was telling my daughter and my granddaughter, I said, I don't know if I can continue on. It was just too much for me. And they just kind of held me up, and my band, those guys that play with us have been with us some of them have been with us longer than like 20, 30 years, some of them. And they said, we got you, don't worry about it. You can do this. And my husband, who has been one of my biggest fans and supporters, has always sort of supported me and pushed me to do things that I thought I couldn't do. I remember once when my sisters didn't want to do a USO tour, and my husband said, you can do it by yourself. Just do it by yourself. And I'm like, really? And he said, yeah, I'll go with you. I mean, and it was a big deal. So Kosovo and Bosnia and Italy, and he said, I'll get the band to go with you, and you can tell them to do whatever you want them to do. They'll sing with you. They'll play, whatever. So I said, okay. And I did this USO tour by myself with the band. And it gave me such a boost of confidence.
Oh, I bet.
After that, I was like, okay, I can do this. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I think that was probably one of the biggest things that has sustained me since I don't have my sisters anymore, is that one thing, that one time that I challenged myself, and my husband supported me and said, you can do this. And I was like, okay. And now I think about that when something comes along that I know it's just me. And I go, okay, you did that. You can do this.
You can do this as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long will you do it?
As long as I can remember the words of those songs. I was talking to a girlfriend yesterday, and she and I were talking about it, and I said, and I think about people like Sinatra and so many of us that have gone. And when he was aging and people were starting to talk about him not remembering words and having to have a prompter on the edge of the stage with the lyrics, I said, if it gets to something like that, I think I'll call it a day.
Somebody please
get the hook and get me off the stage.
I got a feeling that's a long, long way. I think you're going to decide I've done enough before the world decides you've had enough.
Let's hope so. I don't want the hook to have to come after me.
Yeah. You guys are going to be on the Icons Tour?
Yes.
Coming up this summer. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Well, we're doing a series of shows with the Commodores, the Spinners. I think some of the Jacksons might be included in some of that, and I'm not sure who else, but it's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be fun. I mean, we all have songs that people have loved over the years, and, we don't have to do a big, elaborate production. Mm-hmm. We just get up there and sing and do our little moves that we do and get off.
This is Motown celebrating as well, right?
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's terrific.
It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, it's going to be really fun. Again, you just got to get the darn concert closer to us here.
Yeah.
All right. Ruth Pointer is my co-host today. She's keeping me company. When we wrap things up at the end of the show, I've got a special question I want to ask her. But in the meantime, we've got some sweet treats coming our direction. This is Karen Company. I have to tell you, folks, I think lighting in your home is one of the most important things that you can do to keep the house updated. And when I need new lighting, I head to Lucia Lighting and Design. Their spectacular 10,000 square foot showroom inside a beautiful mansion in Lynn, Massachusetts is decorated with both architectural and decorative lighting in every single style. From crystal and traditional to contemporary and modern, the selection is absolutely unmatched. Whenever I'm looking for new lighting, as I mentioned, I head to Lucia Lighting and Design. And when I'm not sure exactly what I'm looking for, I rely on the expert guidance of their design team. I know that they can help me. Learn more and book your appointment today. It's lucialighting.com. If you've been waiting for Mother Nature to flip the switch on spring to update your wardrobe, now is the time. And I've got the perfect place for you to find all the newest styles. All Chic at 152 in Marblehead, Massachusetts. When you step into the beautiful boutique on Washington Street, it's like shopping a rainbow. The collections are perfectly organized and the vibe is upbeat. Quality, style, and savings. That's the All Chic mantra for casual chic to elegant ensembles. Remember, when it comes to style, it's All Chic at 152 Washington Street in Marblehead, Massachusetts.
Big Night Studios is now open for all content creators. Are you looking to start a podcast? Looking to expand your brand? Then visit bignightmedia.com. Check out our rates, check out the studio, and see all the podcasts we have to offer. That's bignightmedia.com.
This segment of Kerrigan & Company is brought to us by North Shore Music Theater. Get tickets for Jersey Boys playing May 7th through the 19th at nsmt.org. Welcome back, everybody, to Kerrigan & Company. So good to have you with us today. Brought to us by A&B Burger. And A&B Burger is great, but when you see what we're about to try out in this segment, you may be thinking about a little something different. Ruth Pointer is keeping me company today as my co-host, and we're having a really good time. Yeah. It's lovely to have you here. I just want to reiterate
lovely
that.
Lovely to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you know that we would have snacks?
No.
Ruth told me in the car she had her lunch, so now we're going to serve her up a little dessert. And we're going to have it served up by an old and dear friend of mine. Carol Sneider is with us. She's the CEO and the founder of, what was originally Boston Bakes for Breast Cancer, and now Bakes for Breast Cancer. It is so great to see you, my friend.
Likewise, it's great to be here. Thank you.
It's been a while since we've seen one another.
Yes.
It really has. Too long. I apologize for that.
Much too long.
Yeah, we must get together more frequently.
Yes.
And if we have to get together over a dessert, that's okay with me, but it doesn't
We've
just have to
always
be.
done that, so it's nothing new for us.
This is not new for us, for sure. Carol and I go way back because when Carol first started Boston Bakes for Breast Cancer, which was actually a portion of the Eva Brownman Fund.
Yes.
Carol called me, and I was at Channel 7 back then, and asked me if I would host an event for this charity that was raising money for breast cancer. And I said, absolutely, I would be honored to do so. And that's where our relationship started.
And then you adopted us.
Wow.
And yeah, well, I did. And then, life took us to different corners and different things. And unfortunately, we lost our way a bit, but here we are back together again, which
with
is so
desserts.
great. Yeah. Tell everybody about this organization and why it's so important to you.
Well, I lost my mother when I was 16 to breast cancer, when the odds were 1 in 20. And I needed a new event. I was tired of black tie events, and I wanted to do something that fit into everybody's life, that fit into everybody's lifestyle, no matter of their socioeconomic demographics. And I always thought of my mother and associated desserts because she taught me baking. So it was just desserts. I was going to do an event that fit into people's lives for dessert. And you could go to 1 week a year, establishments that register and have their dessert and know that it's going for a good cause.
Right. Yeah, it's a brilliant idea that you would, enlist local pastry chefs to choose a dessert right around Mother's Day because we're thinking about moms and breast cancer, obviously. And then the proceeds go to now Bakes for breast cancer. And that money is used for what, Carol?
Our medical advisory board determines what grants we give out. We usually give out bridge grants, the first grant a researcher gets, so that it could go to, they can have more grants available to them in the future. So we're supporting early onset cancer, which is on the rise, and we're supporting the least funded and the largest group of breast cancer cases in older women. So we're raising money for 2 doctors this year because this is what's
really needed at
important.
this stage.
This is
Absolutely. Ruth, you have had breast cancer in your family. You were saying that your youngest sister, that ultimately she succumbed to cancer, and it started as breast cancer.
Yes, June. I don't think we even knew. She was already in her last days when the doctors took us and showed us her X-rays, and it was everywhere. We couldn't believe she was still standing.
Right.
She was still trying to do shows and perform, her and Bonnie, and it was just, we didn't know. We just didn't know.
Right.
And she didn't either.
And, this is what happens frequently, Carol, in so many women who have breast cancer. They don't know. And maybe in those early stages, it could have they could have caught it and they could have taken care of it, and then it spreads like with June.
Right.
And then,
My
unfortunately,
mother.
Is that what happened to your mom?
I don't think she went to a doctor until it was late. And back then, you just went to a surgeon. You didn't go to, a Dana-Farber
Right.
or a Mount. You just went to your local doctor in your local hospital, and they just. And my mother never told us
Yeah.
Right.
until a month before she died.
Well, I think that's the interesting thing, too, that I have found, and you ladies tell me if you feel the same way. I think for a long period of time, there was sort of a stigma or a privacy issue associated with breast cancer. Nobody was going to talk about the fact that you had breast cancer. Now, I feel like, women are talking about it more, which has made awareness so much greater. I will tell you that my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer 5 years ago. She found a lump. She kept it a secret from all of us until she got to the doctor and determined what it was. She's of a generation that was the way she was going to handle it. But then once she found it and we knew what it was, we treated it. We're 5 years out. Mom's in great shape. And I'm sure she's listening, and I couldn't be more thrilled. None of us could be more thrilled. But it was scary, and it was scary for her because she just had no idea. And again, there's a generation, an older generation that didn't know what to do and how to handle it.
But also now the options are so much better than when my mother had breast cancer or your sister had breast cancer.
Yeah.
So women can live with breast
Yeah,
cancer.
it's not a death sentence. Like
No,
we
right.
thought it
No,
was.
so there's been great progress, but there's still so much to be done.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. We'd like to, no woman should die from breast cancer.
No.
And we say women, I mean, men certainly can have breast cancer, and we know that. But the majority of those who have breast cancer clearly are women. Okay, so let's get back to the positive about all this. And that's that over the course of, a week, a year here in the Boston area, and certainly in other places in the country, because you have extended this fabulous cause out. You can go into a restaurant and you can have a great dessert, and a great cause, can be aided. So talk to us a little bit about what you've got on the table here.
Okay.
And for our listeners, we have to sort of explain it now because they can't see it. So let's tell everybody what it is that's in front of us.
We're going to start with these cookies.
Cookies.
Because supermarkets can make a difference.
Yeah.
And Roach Brothers Marketplace, and Sudbury Farms, for more years than I could count, select their chocolate chip cookies. And each time it's sold during the week, they donate 100% of the sales of these chocolate chip cookies. The crispy ones, because they have a lot of varieties.
Okay, great.
Now, another longtime participant is Sofra Bakery and Cafe in Cambridge.
Okay.
And they made candy. And one is I don't have the name in front of me, but one's an apricot with a chocolate top, and the other is a pistachio.
Okay.
And it's absolutely delicious, small, so you don't feel you're
Indulging.
And then Dessert Works in Westwood. This is one, I just think, a beautiful dessert.
It is.
It's
pretty.
just, you could get, it's a roulotte. I might be misthinking it, but it's like an angel food cake rolled with whipped cream and strawberries. And you could get it by the piece, or for your Mother's Day celebration, you could get the whole piece to serve.
A full roll.
A full roll
Absolutely.
that you could serve everyone. And it's just a great way, whether you're going out for Mother's Day or you're staying in, there's always a way you could help breast cancer.
Absolutely. You can support the organization. How do you find out where you can go?
You could go on our website, bakes, 4, B as in boy, C as in Charles.org. And you will find a list of participants for all of our events.
Great. And you've ventured outside of Boston.
Yes, we're now in Rhode Island, all throughout New England, and we're making our way down to the D.C. area.
Fantastic. How much money have you guys raised over the last almost 3 decades?
I stopped counting but it's well over $2 million.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Yeah, Carol. It's terrific. It's fantastic.
And it's easy.
And everybody wins, right? You get a fabulous dessert.
It's a win-win.
And yeah, absolutely. And research gets dollars, and it's so important.
Needed dollars.
Very nice.
Congratulations on all the fantastic things that you've done here.
Great.
You have honored your mother in such a wonderful way. You really have. So
Thank you.
it's wonderful. And what a wonderful friendship we've had. So I've appreciated it so
Definitely.
very much. It's great.
Definitely.
All right. We've got lots more here. We need to wrap things up when we come back. I'll be chatting here with Ruth. I've got a question I want to ask her, and we're going to get right to that when we come back. This is Kerrigan and Company.
How did 4 blue-collar kids become one of the greatest success stories in pop music history? Find out at Jersey Boys, the Tony Award-winning musical about Frankie Valli and the 4 Seasons. Experience the true story musical phenomenon that takes you behind the scenes and behind the music. Jersey Boys is on stage at Bill Haney's North Shore Music Theater now through May 19th only. Get your tickets today at nsmt.org.
My friends at Sienna Aesthetics know that physical appearance and self-esteem go hand in hand. Whether it's a medical condition or purely cosmetic, the team at Sienna Aesthetics believes we all deserve to feel our best. As soon as you enter their beautiful medical spa located in the Cummings Center in Beverly, Massachusetts, you'll feel cared for and at ease with every touch point of their service. To learn more or book an appointment, simply go to siennaaesthetics.com. That's siennaaesthetics.com. I recommend you check them out today. It's siennaaesthetics.com. This segment of Kerrigan and Company is brought to you by Sienna Aesthetics Medical Spa. Take years off your face with the very latest technologies at Sienna Aesthetics in Beverly. Welcome back, everybody, to Kerrigan and Company, and it is time to wrap things up with Ruth. And I kind of don't want to wrap things up. I wish you could just stay forever. I just find you to be the most delightful person.
Oh, thank you.
I love it. You're just so positive. I know I've said that 100 times, but it's so true. I want to ask you about something. First off, favorite Pointer Sisters song?
Well, of course, I'm so excited. It's definitely one of my favorites. But the favorite for me to perform is Neutron Dance.
Neutron Dance. Oh, I know. It's so fun.
And it was my mom's favorite. She loved to watch me do that song. I think it's the gospel feel of it.
Yeah. I love that. I love it, too. How old does it get for people to go, oh, Ruth, I'm so excited?
All the time.
Oh, I bet that one never gets old.
That was exactly what we were going for.
Well, you guys wrote that with your songwriting partner, correct? And how did you get there? How did you get to that?
Well, we said when we were writing it that we wanted a song that everybody could relate to, first of all, and that would consist of a phrase that when you said it, they would think about that song. And we got what we wanted.
You certainly did, that's for sure. I want to ask you about another song, though, Automatic.
Yeah.
This is a great story. Share the story about how you guys stumbled on this and how it all worked.
Well, we were in the studio recording an album, and we had a break. And we were sitting in an office. I think it was Richard Perry's assistant, Jim Track. And he said, there's a box of, really, really dating myself right now. There's a box of cassettes in there. You might want to go through them and play a few and see if you like any of those songs. So we started playing some of the cassettes, and we run across this cute little song, Automatic. We were like, wow, why hasn't anyone told us about this song?
And these were all rejects at that point, right?
Yeah, those were songs that they had listened to, and they were like, nah, that doesn't fit, nah. So when we called Jim in the room and said, we like this song Automatic, he said, well, who's going to sing that low part? And I said, I can sing the low part, And we did it, and people ask all the time, is that Stevie Wonder? No, it's not Stevie Wonder.
I love that song. I love it.
It's fun.
I love
it was a fun song to do.
There's so many great ones. Slow Hand. That was kind of an issue, right?
Girl, are you kidding me? And of course, by today's standards.
Right, exactly.
Slow Hand is modest. Thank you very much.
It is.
But yeah, some of the radio stations even refuse to play it because of the insinuation. Oh, God.
Yeah, when you look back, I know you must think, wow, if these young people now only knew some of the things we had to tolerate, right?
Yeah.
And not just the things like that, but you were three women out there on the road. Four, yeah.
And then three.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. I mean, those were interesting times for women.
Very interesting times. And plus, when I hear the new artists that are out today talk about things like, my glam squad, I want to thank my glam squad. I'm like, what is a glam squad? Okay, we were our own glam squad. Thank you very much.
Right.
And I have to say, it taught us a lot because we only had professional makeup and hair people when we were doing a photo shoot for an album cover or a television show or something like that.
Right.
And this is like before video. So what we did was we paid close attention to the people that were doing our makeup and our hair. And we learned that way what they were doing. And we just Imitated them.
replicated it
Yeah,
when
yeah.
it was time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on an unbelievable life and career.
Thank you.
And so much more yet to come. You know, you have the tour that starts this summer.
Yeah.
And the great pleasure of doing it with a daughter and a granddaughter, which
Yeah.
is just magnificent. So we wish you'd bring that tour this direction, please.
Yeah, well, you never know. There's still time.
Ruth Pointer, it's been a delight.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure, really.
Thank you very much. And it's been great to have all of you. Hope you enjoyed this edition of Kerrigan and Company, and be sure you check us out again next time. Thanks, everybody, for listening to Kerrigan and Company. To find out who will keep me company and be my co-host on the next episode, be sure you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, and TikTok. Kerrigan and Company is recorded at the Big Night Studios at the TD Garden in Boston. You can view the podcast on YouTube and listen to it wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure you tell a friend. The executive producer of Kerrigan and Company is David Thompson. Our engineer is Peter Hurley, and our social media managers are Grace Kerrigan, Colby Thompson, and Riley Thompson. See you next time.
Yes, Kerrigan and Company.